Tell us a little bit more about the instrument. I know so many people, when they see you perform, come up to you and have many, many questions. What can you tell us about this?
Well, the cool thing about it, because you're playing like a piano, is that you can play multiple parts. Like you said before, you can play chords on this hand, you can play chords in this hand, you can play single notes in one hand, bass lines in this hand, change the sound, and play some single melodies here. Play them simultaneously in the jazz style. So it sounds like you're playing a bass on one side and a guitar or a piano on the other side. It's adaptable to all styles. What I enjoy about it is it doesn't really have much of a history. So it was kind of like, here's your instrument, figure it out. It's an empty canvas. So it's been very cool to be part of the history and develop techniques. I'll explain one technique. For instance, you have the guitar and you have the bass, but sometimes I'll duplicate this note. That note's the same, and I'll do this kind of guitar finger picking thing, which I don't think you could do on another instrument. I guess on a piano you could do something like that. And then we give it a name. It's called a claw. As one of my students said, it looks like a crab walking across the sand a little bit. So it's cool to just develop that and then say, okay, you have that. What do you do, and how do you develop that into music? So now you have that. The left hand could do like a bass drum, or actually hit bass notes. So you get this orchestral thing that maybe hasn't been done before. So it's not just a new technique and a new instrument. It lends itself to new music. That's what I enjoy about it, is being part of the history of the instrument and developing it with my students and other players.
Right. So this is actually a groundbreaking instrument each day. Something.
I had the pleasure 2 years ago. There's a museum in Phoenix called the Musical Instrument Museum, and I helped them put an exhibit in there of the Chapman Stick because it deserves to be in there. There are 1,500 exhibits: pianos, rain sticks, harmonicas, and they didn't have the Chapman Stick.
Really?
And I went there and I did a performance there, and they said we have to have this in there. I mean, Emma Chapman was part of it, but now they have an exhibit there, and it's a great thing. It's historic.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Now I know you give lessons. I'm sure I know on guitar, bass still currently.
I've been giving guitar lessons for 4 decades, bass lessons, and I've been playing this for 30 years. So I've been teaching this also Skype.
I was going to ask if you do Skype lessons.
I do Skype lessons. I have students far away
excellent.
Far away as Australia. As close as New Jersey. So that's building up. Eventually I won't need an office. I can do all Skype.
Yes, it's a marvelous tool to be able to.
Well, the problem with this is that, let's say you have a Chapman Stick and you live in Idaho. There's no teachers in Idaho.
No.
So now you have access, and what I do sometimes, I'm doing one in Michigan pretty soon. I do seminars also. Somebody organizes a seminar,
right,
and me and maybe another teacher go to teach. And we get anywhere from 10 to 20 students.
Do you teach others to become stick teachers?
No, that I don't do. I mean, it might be a byproduct. I teach somebody and then they get enough and they can teach.
Right.
But that's not what I do. I don't train people to be
teachers.
teachers.
Master class or something like that.
Well, and what the classes are, the best one was about 10 years ago in San Jose. My friend Bob Culbertson, and we had 10 stick teachers and 80 students. And it was just like the World Stick Conference.
Oh, marvelous.
That was about everybody. So it's just cool. And you meet people as a fraternity of stick players. We all chat online and stuff. So it's a fun fraternity.
Yes.
And sorority sometimes.
There are female stick players.
There are female stick players, yes. Okay. They're called stickettes. You can edit that
out. Steve also is the producer of the Long Beach Jazz Festival here in New York, going into its 11th year this year. Tell us a little bit about how that all started.
My friend Bruce Snyder, who was a jazz fan, came to me and said, I want to do a jazz festival, have some funding. And we have David Barham, who's our legal counsel, and we want you to be the artistic director. I said, fine, we formulated it. Subsequently, Bruce left town, moved to Florida, and it was put in my lap, and I said, all right, let me finish it out. And we did to great success, and then I said, let's keep doing it. It became addictive. And every year the quality has grown, the name recognition has grown.
Yes.
The players say, hey, this is a cool thing. They're not charging the public. There's no profit motive like a regular entrepreneur. So let's just do it for the fun of it. And it's a lot of fun because the audience gives their standing ovations for every song, not every set, every song.
Yes.
It's packed house, and it's a party. You make a few bucks as a musician, and everybody has a great time. And it's very rewarding because you hear people who are not jazz fans walk out of the room going, I didn't know I liked this music. And now they're fans of Edmar Castaneda or Chieli Minucci or
Yes.
Dean Brown, and they didn't even know they existed. So you're exposing people to new music, and now Long Beach has become the jazz capital of the New York area.
No, it's fantastic and a wonderful thing to do for the community here, which has been a hotbed of the arts in many facets for a long time. What are the dates for the Jazz Festival this year?
This year, it's towards the end of September. I don't know the exact dates. We're still formulating it because
Okay.
the whole thing with the hurricane, obviously,
Yes.
it's going to be harder to raise funds, but we're going to make it happen.
Right,
You
right.
know,
And can you give us a little insight about who may be performing?
This year we have a return from Bakiti Kumalo, who's the bass player for Paul Simon.
Yes.
Chieli Minucci with special effects will definitely come back. He's a good friend, and he wants to help Long Beach as much as possible.
Right.
Dean Brown's trying to work out his schedule to come down. We have Uppercut, which is a horn band. They do kind of Chicago type things. Myself with my band, of course. It's the only gig I can't get turned down for.
I know that feeling.
Frank Vignola, great guitar player, who played with Les Paul for many, many years.
Right.
And I'm working on some other people. I'm hoping to possibly get Pat Martino,
Oh, how nice.
which would be great. I played with Pat. It's good because they're friends of mine, so they'll work for a decent fee because they know I'm not making money off of it.
Certainly. Right.
And they come down for the joy of it.
Right.
And sometimes somebody will come down for the first time and go, I'll give it a try, and then they want to come back because they just enjoy it so much, and they tell their friends. So we've had like Charlie Hunter, who is a super duper guitar player, one of the probably one of the world's greatest, and he was pretty much sure the biggest seller on Blue Note Records before Norah Jones.
Really?
He's done our festival twice, and the first time I was like, all right, I'll do it. Second time he said, I want to do this again.
Okay.
So that's very gratifying that the musicians, it's not just a job, they want to do it.
Yes.
And they want to help Long Beach. They want to, especially after what happened.
Well, more than ever now. Sure.
And there was a part where it was like, all right, we're in recovery mode. Are we going to do this? And I said, you know what, we need to do this. And the whole city has that attitude. We're not going to miss a beat. Everything's going to be happening. The concerts on the beach and everything else. They don't want to say, we're suffering. Let's cut back. Everything in Long Beach, all the events are going to happen, including the jazz festivals. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
And I think we're going to get a great turnout again this year.
Excellent. That's held at the Long Beach Public Library on their second floor auditorium. I know it's always standing room only every single year. It's always a great event.
And all the restaurants also, and they support it. And for that week, that's probably one of their greatest nights for attendance in the restaurants.
Yes, there'll be satellite venues and we'll also have
Yep.
acts all around town simultaneously.
Yes.
And maybe you can play a little bit more for us on this cool instrument.
Absolutely. More than happy to. Thank you.
beautiful.